Good evening and welcome to the February 11th, 2026 Queen Anne's County Board of Education budget work session. Can we get a motion to open session?
Can I get a motion to open the budget work session for February 11th at 4:30 p.m.?
So moved. Yeah.
All in
I second.
favor?
So Matt made a motion, so we need a second.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next up we have approval of the agenda. Can we get a motion to approve the February 11th? Oh yes, we have to do the pledge. Totally forgot about that. Sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
May I get a motion to approve the Queen Anne's County Board of Education February 11th, 2026 budget work session agenda as presented?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we have Mr. Watkins up for our information items for fiscal year 2027 budget discussion.
Good afternoon.
As Mr. Watkins gets set up, I guess I'll just lead off a little bit. We don't have a lot new prepared this evening to talk about with the operating budget. A little bit of a combo of the last two times that we've talked, and just hoping to get into some discussion about the budget as presented.
Uh,
We'll start, one second. I'm just gonna have to use these for a minute. Apologies. Put this right here. And I'll give you a holler when I'm ready.
Sure thing. For the record, my name is Rob Watkins, and I'm Chief Financial Officer here. Today, we're talking about the fiscal year 27 budget. As Dr. Kilgore said, we present to you the same budget book that we were able to share with you last week to seek feedback for really the budget going forward. We're seeking an approval on or before the March 4th Board of Education meeting. We still have a work session left in 2 weeks on February 25th. The budget book, the draft budget book, is linked to board docs, so everyone can take a look at it. Just a review of where we left off, kind of a summary of the budget book in total. We did see an overall increase going from 26 to 27 of $1.323 million. That represents a state increase of just under $1.5 million. At this point, our budget book does encompass all of the proposed increases from 26 into 27. It does not include any funds that potentially could be provided by the County Commissioner's office above maintenance of effort. Our overall budget proposal is increasing by $13.379 million. And that leads us a deficit of $12.055 million. When we look through the budget book, the proposed increase, we represented in a couple different ways on page 5 and 6 of the budget book. An overall 10.5% increase is what we are requesting, the superintendent is recommending. We see a 7.5 increase as a cost to maintain from fiscal year 26 to 27, and we see just over a 3% increase to improve our programs, and that's where our suggested positioning improvements lie. As we kind of look this a little bit deeper, when you look at page 5 is outlined in two different boxes. The white box provides us really the required increases to already contractual services and other items that really are needed to maintain the budget. The items in gray are previously cut items or budget lines that will hold constant that need to be increased in order to maintain a balanced budget. And of course, page 6 represents those 37 positions under consideration and additional items to further improve the program. So, at that point, I open up the floor to begin a conversation about our budget.
I don't want to distract from the conversation about the operating budget. I want to just say that the document that we handed out right now, and we posted on board docs as well, there was a request for basically a summary of the grants that we have. So we put that together. The grants do not, while they supplement the operational budget, they're not really a part of what we're talking about right now. So we can get to this, and we're happy to talk about this and how we build it and things like that. But this does not play into like the $12 million deficit that we're talking about right this second. So I'm
But
saying that a little bit, I guess, for myself as well, to put to a side.
But it does show the need for the grant writer. And
Exactly.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
That is correct. And in the document, to further, we did describe it. We talked about examples of how we spend the money for each of the grants, and then we outlined the positions in our system that are tied to the grants, if there are in fact positions tied to the grants. So
And we felt like this was, and we might as well talk about it since we started. But, you know, the question came up, we thought it was good to post it publicly as well, what the grants that we have, a little bit of an overview of what they are, and as well as what we do with them here. We did put the positions with it. I will say many of the grants are tied to positions in the district where they kind of pull double duty. So like for Title II, for example, our supervisor of ELA from 3rd grade to 12th grade supervises the ELA program, but also the Title II grant. So, you know, anything we do with a grant writer, if we could maybe alleviate the burden on folks throughout the system I think that's kind of a dual benefit to the district. It's a dedicated person, if we go with the grant writer, that can look for additional grants as well, but also help manage the grants that we do have to relieve some of the burden so the folks can focus on other parts of their responsibilities. It could be doubly beneficial, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Do they have to, do you have to apply for like the Title I and Title II? That's just calculated each year?
There's a technical term for the grants that we're basically entitled to. I forget what it is. Non-competitive grants.
Oh, okay.
The Title I is non-competitive. Title II, the title grants in general.
But you still have to track all that money very
Oh,
closely.
oh,
Okay.
sure.
there's-
And we get
okay,
audited
that's
on
where-
each of them individual and over the years and each year individually as well. Mr. Watkins can speak to that.
They're pass-through grants. So what happens is the federal government allocates a fund to Maryland, and then Maryland allocates it out to the districts. So while we have to support and provide details on how we're spending and what we're using it for, it's not an application process necessarily.
All right.
Do you have a projected amount of what the grants are for this upcoming year?
Yep, it's
On each chart, FY '27, and it's also in the
Well, I meant
budget.
total.
Yeah, in the budget book.
Okay.
it's on page 8.
8. So basically what we did was we asked the grant managers taking page 8 to give a breakdown of each of the individual grants.
Now, mind you, I don't want to start this meeting off in a scary fashion, but the federal government and the funding sources at the federal government level have not been really provided to us yet. We're starting to see some information handed down. We still need some more information from MSD and then, of course, from the federal government to help us understand what funds are actually going to be available to us next year. So these are our best projections based on what we currently have. Also, the fiscal year 26, they're actual ones up to this point and what we're projecting to get for the rest of the year. Some of the funds could adjust, not likely much, but a few thousand one way or the other for some of the bigger ones, based on how we spend them out. Okay, so our goal tonight is to really talk about the funding amount that we would like to take to the Commissioner's office as extra support above maintenance of effort. So when we look at what we have in our budget book right now, that number is represented by the $12.05 million deficit. It's in the budget book. Okay. At some point, after we get the allocation from the county office, we would go back into the budget book and we would then make the adjustments to balance out the budget book based on the additional revenue that we have been granted. So today, really the question on the table is, the superintendent's recommendation is to take a $12.055 million request to the commissioner's office. And so our job here is to kind of talk through, is that the number we would like to take, or are there adjustments we would like to make to that
Either
number?
direction. And
I think we need to tell people, so when we say cost to maintain and cost to improve programs, cost to maintain is, we all know we're hanging by a thread right now. Cost to improve is to sort of get us back to where we were, but we're not adding like all these extra positions that weren't here before. Can we
Now,
just?
if you, so I could probably count up really quick if, so 1, 2, no, that's 8, that would be 8.
While he's doing that, on page 5 outlines specifically the things that are in, that really what's needed to maintain the program going into 27.
So I think at quick count, and I would just need help on the custodian pieces, but I think they are even replacements or backfills. I think only 13 of the 37 are brand new, and where they are brand new is really the 6 pre-kindergarten teachers. That would be additional. The 2 additional behavior specialists, that would be focused at the elementary level. The grant writer would be new. Another maintenance employee would be new. An HR specialist and a finance specialist. So even of those 13, most of them are directly helping the students and or the buildings in the schools. And so the other ones are what you said, basically bringing back positions that we've cut over the last 3 years that we can tell student achievement, what we're hearing from our parents, our teachers, our administrators is just, it's really impacting the way our schools operate.
So we're taking 12 million to, hypothetically, we're taking 12 million to the commissioners. Have we looked at cuts or where these scenarios of this budget, if they come back at a lower number? Do we have an avenue or a path to plan for the worst, even though we hope for the best?
Yes. So the sheet was designed to be just that for the most part. So the front end of the sheet on page 5, the top part in white are really obligated costs. These are obligated costs related to negotiated agreements and the associated fixed charges. This is where you're going to see the health insurance increases for our staff and for our retirees. This is where you're going to see predictable costs from our contracts with like organizations like Power School and with other base programs that we use in our system.
We're almost locked into that top of that chart on page 5 with the cost to maintain in the white, which is roughly $8.7 million. That does not include like the state part. If you just sum that chart up, it's 8.7. And that's just to maintain what we have. We also feel like the roughly $800,000 below it in gray is what we have been getting by for years, just hoping that a teacher, administrator, a staff member, for example, if they leave, not hoping they leave, but if they do leave, you have that salary savings that covers some of these other categories. That is not a way that we should be operating this budget. That is why we included that light gray section in the cost to maintain, because we feel like we need to put those categories at the level that we're actually spending. Because if we don't do that and continue kicking that can, in my opinion, we're gonna be right back in the same boat we have been, where, you know, you're looking at a deficit when it comes to the end of the year going into the next, and we just don't know what to do. I feel like at this point, we've cut for 3 years. I don't know where else we're cutting.
So when you look at the front page and so that's $9.509 million, you remove the increase in revenue of $1.323 million. That leaves a balance of $8.185 million. So the front page represents an $8.2 million increase.
I will share one thing that makes this this whole process, and the board, even the folks that are new-ish to the board, you were with us last spring when we did this. We get updated numbers as we go throughout the course of the spring. We're leaving, and I'm gonna say it even though I think Dr. Nolan and Mr. Watkins might caution me. We right now have a 10% increase in here for health insurance. We have heard just verbally in a meeting that might be a little bit lower than that, as much as only 5%. Until we see an actual bill in writing or something from Care First or Bolton, our provider, I do not feel comfortable making that adjustment. However, if we do get that good news and it's only 5% instead of 10, that chops $800,000 off this list right away. And I am telling the board, I'm telling the public, I'm telling anybody listening, I'm not gonna go backfill that 800,000. If that comes off, then that $12 million number we're talking about right now goes down to 11.2. And if any other adjustments in those categories, if we find that out moving forward. Is that a good way to explain that? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Unless the commissioners just want to give it to us anyway.
So, I'll be the one to ask the hard question.
All right.
So we have our two numbers, what we need, what we want. What happens if we get neither?
It's a good question. So I would say at this point, $7 million, $7.5 million is really what's needed to kind of keep the same program going forward. If we get less than that, we're going to have to look at our program in total in 26 and make some adjustments going forward.
I will say, I don't feel comfortable putting a number in the commissioner's mouth. We all know publicly over the last few years, they have given us above maintenance of effort, and there was, I think I can say, a general consensus among the commissioners that they would have to go above maintenance of effort as we worked towards the $60,000 mark for the starting teacher salary to meet Blueprint. So that I believe it's safe to say that there is an expectation on their office that they will have to give us, they would be planning to give us above maintenance of effort at this time. A few years ago, what was publicly stated was $5 million more over the next 3 years. The one we're talking about right now would be year 3. We know that they gave us more than that last year. I believe it was 7.1.
7.3, I believe.
3, I'm sorry. So I don't know for sure what that number would be right now. But I don't anticipate that it would be 0, but it could be. I understand.
It was 7.644.
Sorry. So we are happy to answer any questions that you may have about any of the additions, the cost to maintain, how we arrived at anything, if the board has it.
I have a question, something we discussed at the last meeting is the science of the reading program and when that's being implemented, because that's not gonna be a cheap date. Have we started preparing and planning and putting ourselves in a budget situation? Because that, like I said, that's gonna be a tall order on us to operationally in the budget take care of.
I think adding the reading specialists are going to be an important step in that direction.
Okay. Because I know what I think that she said projected, if they needed to implement the entire thing, they would need 40. Not that we would ever
To do it
probably get there.
properly.
Yeah, do it properly, not that we could get there. But if this is coming down from the state and mandated, we have to look into that sooner rather than later. And if we can start preparing for that in the budget sooner than later, I think it'd be behoove of us.
Are you,
You guys can talk to it, sorry.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the certifications of teachers in science of reading?
I
No,
think just the reading
implementing
policy in
the whole
general.
policy in general.
Policy,
Yeah.
okay, forgive me.
Implementing everything with the
Yes.
teachers and then the whole scenario that we discussed at the last meeting.
The short answer is yes. I think they've done a lot of work already to lay the groundwork to have some of the materials and the programs in place to be able to do some of the work in that policy. Of course, more hands and more skilled hands always help our kids learn. This budget has several reading specialists in it as a proposal. It's on page 6. It's 6. We've asked for 6 reading specialists to really restore the school-based reading specialist position to support that.
In what the proposal, these 6 positions, we currently have 3, so this is 6 additional. What that would do is allow every elementary school, so the 8 elementary schools would each have 1 position assigned, and then it would keep 1 more position that is dedicated to supporting middle school ELA.
Just, when we go to the commissioners, I was just thinking about that avenue that, hey, we're pre-planning with these 6 specialists we're trying to add now, which we're gonna need to add eventually anyway. That could be a justification for asking for more money, that we're pre-planning, we're trying to work through this, which is gonna be a state mandate that's coming down in the next couple years. So that could be one of the justifications, if we bring that up to them, that they can understand that we're trying to get ahead of the game.
Certainly. It's really hard when we build this to say that everything in part 2, the additions, are something we can do without. They are needed, but the reality is we don't have them right now, so they would be new in additions or restoring, as Ms. Capes brought out. But there's obviously probably a priority in what we're proposing here as well. Restoring, there's 3 positions specifically that 3 of our schools are going without where others have. I really believe in those first 3, just to maintain the program that all the schools have, and then the reading specialists as well. That doesn't take away, that's not meant to take away from anything else, but it's going to keeping the equity across the schools, as well as that next state mandate that's coming down. But it is very hard to prioritize this list.
You want some guidance from us as far as what the
Well-
3 of us sitting here want?
Well,
So the question on the table is, are we comfortable taking $12.055 million request to the commissioners? If the answer is yes, then our next step would be to vote on that, to say, this is the budget as it sits, this is the one we're taking to the commissioners. When the commissioners provide us a number, hoping they give us a number over maintenance of effort, then we take that number, we go back, we revise the budget book to balance it out, to show whatever that increase is across the budget book, removing the things that don't fit because of any decrease of that number, and then we vote on it again as your final budget.
Really, I think picking a number is helpful for us, and also just, we live this in a day-to-day world, so answering any questions about any specific line, we are happy to do that if anybody has it. But again, as well, if we're happy with that number, then.
So, I mean, this year compared to last year, this is night and day different. And the transparency and where we're at here, and we're actually requesting to make things, improvements and adding staff and programs, I think shows that we're trying to get beyond where the blueprint kind of pigeonholed us in the past, and we're trying to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if we can portray that to the commissioners at the same time, which is only gonna make us better, because we talk about test scores and we talk about trying to be the best in the state, and we're striving to get there. These are needs that we need to do and overcome from some of the adversity we've had. In saying that, we need the 12 million, why would we not request that? I mean, at the end of the day, they can say no, but if we ask for 8 million and they give us 8 million, we just cut ourselves short at that point. So, my opinion, we're a board here, so we'll vote, but why not take the entire amount? Because at that point, they can say no, but if we don't take that entire, we're never gonna get it unless we ask and we show them why.
I agree. I'm fine with the budget as is, presenting it to them. I think you guys have done a great job of cutting it down already. And, I mean, this is like the minimum. Even with the added positions, there's not much, there's no fluff. There's like nothing being added on that is not needed. But at the same time, what he's saying about the test scores, I feel like a strong presentation about the positions we're asking for and how test scores have gone down since they've left. I think that would help us as well.
We're happy to put that in, and, we talked last time, Dr. Schreckengoss's presentation on the root cause analysis that we're doing at the district level and the school level, with, you know, what has happened with academic performance and what might help dig us out, that all really goes hand in hand. And you know, it's a 7% increase to maintain where we're at. I think we're all feeling that at home. I know I am. It's only 3% to increase above that, and really, you know, that's only restoring mostly what we've already had that was working, had our scores, you know, high performing in the state, and we can do better. And I think the $3 million additional request is, frankly, it's a little bit reserved when you look at the number of classroom teaching positions that we've cut over the last couple of years and other support staff positions. And we cut a number of positions in the central office on top of that as well. And we're not talking about restoring all of that back. I'm trying to balance, you know, something that I know it's a big ask, but trying to get us there to move student achievement forward. That is what we are here for, and this would allow us to do that. And I appreciate your all support.
Yeah, it looks like we're just trying to get back to where we were pre-blueprint, we'll say.
But also the salaries and wages. I mean, I know we had to get to the 60,000 minimum. How do we see those? Because that, I mean, that is the bulk of the increase. How do we see those in the future? I mean, it's been, what did we say, 18%?
Those would be negotiable starting next year. We are in year 2 of a 3-year contract, so FY '27 is still captured in the current contract. This time next year, we would be in open negotiations with the association for starting next year.
One thing that helped us with this budget in the last 2 years is having that 3-year contract. Like, these numbers are the numbers. The only way they get adjusted a little bit is just the natural retirements, resignations, and the new hires. So that's the only change. Next year, you have another layer to the complexity of building a budget, because we will be actively negotiating with the associations, and we won't necessarily know what those numbers are as we are working to build this.
That's also not maintainable. I mean, the $4.1 million increase in just the instructional salaries in a year.
Like they both said, I am on board with asking for what we need, because it's not even, you know, maintaining isn't maintaining, it's us still struggling, and everybody's struggling, teachers, staff, students, and like Dr. Kibler said, it is kind of a reserve number just to get us back to where we were, so.
So the community knows we're not the only county struggling. It's statewide, so sometimes they get I've been questioned, why are we, the county, having issues with the budget, and sometimes we gotta say, hey, it's the entire state, it's not just our county. So we're fighting for it, we're trying to get ahead. I just appreciate also, because I was reviewing this quite a bit this weekend, and the simplicity of this budget and ability to read and understand, I greatly appreciate, because I know in the past it's been kind of convoluted and a little all over the place at times. So it made it easy to understand. It made it easy to sit here and not have to ask many questions, and completely understand where we need to be and what the budget is that we have to go forward with. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep, thank you for being transparent with everybody. Way ahead of the game than we've been in the past.
Yeah, I still think we're a good month ahead of where we've been. Sure. And the only thing I'll say to the board, in case, as you guys continue to review this, and if the public looks, one thing I don't think we pointed this out, but we probably should. When you look at the positions in part 2, we have the positions there, completely combined, salary and fixed charges, just because we don't know where we'll end up with those positions yet. Those calculations become very complicated and time consuming. It becomes just better for all of us to use just placeholder estimates of what those positions would cost. On part 1, the folks that we have at Queen Anne's County Public School, we can go ahead and calculate out what's the specific salary, what's the fixed charge piece for pension, the social security, all of that, the insurance piece. That's why we have it broken out on the chart one, because we have those employees here. We know exactly what that's gonna cost. We use an estimate and just put it all into one bucket for the proposed new positions. In case anybody, you all or folks watching, when they're looking at home, why is it not divided up? That's why.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins.
Thanks. Next up, we have future meetings and events. So our next budget work session will be February 25th at 4:30, and then March 4th will be a regular school board meeting at 6 p.m. And can we get a motion to adjourn?
We do have the CAC and SSIC next week. I didn't ask about it
It's
last
next
week.
Wednesday.
'Cause we had
Wednesday
this.
the 18th.
Oh, yeah, did anybody,
I didn't check your sign up. We can check that quick if we,
sure, yeah.
and if you all want to wait and ask Ms. Bent and Ms. Eichler, that's fine too.
Okay,
But
We can get back to the SSIC and CAC, just to make sure we can get the other folks on board too. But we'll have a representation there. We got you.
Thank you very much.
I enjoy it. I like hearing from both the staff and the community.
Like having you there. Thank you.
What's the
Appreciate it.
topic, wellness this month, or is that still?
Wellness, yes, Mr. Evans, our supervisor of student services, will be there. We'll also be sharing some potential, I guess, a draft of potential questions we may use in a survey for parents and teachers regarding cell phone use in schools.
Oh.
Unless
That should
she
be
didn't tell you.
interesting. I think I might want to be part of that one, we'll see.
Love to have
She
you.
didn't tell you as part of the wellness, you go over and do an hour work at YMCA too.
Oh, yeah.
you would love that.
I would love that.
Great.
Thank you. We'll let you know. We'll send an email.
Thank you.
all right, can we get a motion to adjourn?
May I get a motion to adjourn the Queen Anne's County Board of Education, February 11th, 2026, budget work session?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.